Hello everyone, and welcome to this exciting video where we're going to be taking a look at the newly released ALTAgate. Now, if you've been following along my videos or my Steam kind of screenshots, you would have seen this creation show up and maybe be intrigued or question what this is. Maybe you talked with some people and kind of understand what it is. But in this video, we're going to be doing a full rundown, a full breakdown, and a full understanding of what the ALTAgate is, what it's supposed to do, and how it's supposed to help your gameplay, especially when it comes to oil drilling. But before I dig into that, I want to start off by saying I spent a couple hours this morning, which is an absurd amount of time, just fixing and updating all of my buckle trucks, or maybe like 95% of them. There's a couple that are not fully updated yet, but almost every creation that you see here, especially all the ALTA trucks, have been updated. And the reason for that is because I've been constantly developing my engine controller, my ECU or ECM, and my transmission. And with kind of these changes and updates, I wanted to ensure that everybody has the latest version of the truck and that they're not super outdated, because I know I talked about this in the past, but very outdated creations kind of are a thorn in my side because I don't want to delete them, but I don't also want to spend too much time updating them. In the case of some of these, I just went ahead and updated them, specifically talking about like the old OMA welding truck. I've updated the style, I've given it the new instrument panel, and this is now brought up to 2024. And I did the same with the OMA tanker, based off the ALTA tanker, of course. This one's up to date, and all of my trucks and some of my cars have received the new engine controller as well. So I'm kind of in the process of this, but I'd say 95% of them are updated, so you'll be able to enjoy them. And the reason I'm actually saying that is because it specifically relates to the ALTAgate. And how it relates is, well, the ALTAgate has 25 vehicles that you can spawn with it, which is a crazy amount. Sheppy5 and myself have been working hard to ensure the compatibility and the full use of this type of system. So I'm going to show you this later on in the video. This is to give you a visual. This is all of the vehicles that you could spawn with the ALTAgate. From basic work trucks to semis, all kinds of utility vehicles, and some fire trucks and ambulance, and little kind of golf carts and utility type vehicles. Now you will notice that there are no trailers here, so you can spawn a semi truck or two semi trucks, but there are no trailers, and that's intentional because we, by we I mean Sheppy5 and myself, are working on a ALTA kind of headquarters facility and garage, and that's where you're going to be able to spawn much larger creations. Here we wanted to keep the size or length of them to just kind of roughly the size of the largest, or one of the medium-sized Stampede sort of trucks, and the biggest one is probably these cherry picker and crane truck. To run the mod, you have to start a brand new game. You cannot go ahead and create or run it as an add-on later on. You have to start it as a new game, and the reason for that is because there's specific Lua coding that is at work there, and that will not start working if you have an existing game. So you got to start a new game by adding it here. You're going to see it in your workshop. I just have it under my saved. You're going to see it here, and you'll click the little mark for it and start off your new game. As you can see here, and you start it up, and then if you are in free mode, you can reveal all the map and all this stuff. I'll always turn off the weather, freeze the time, and if you go to map and zoom out here, you'll see, if you zoom into the first location here, you have now the oil deposit and the ALTAgate facility. So there's one right here, and if you go to the other part of the map, specifically on the very left side or very west side, there's two locations. One is here and one is here, and same thing, you zoom in, you see ALTAgate facility, and likewise for the other one. Now we're just going to teleport here real fast, wait for it to start up, and boom, we are officially in the ALTAgate. Now this is a fresh spawn. This is exactly how it'll look for you when you spawn it in. And I'm going to go through and explain some of these areas and how to work it. So the main entrance to your ALTAgate is over here. And while I do agree that this side of the building is less impressive, like that is the main gate here, but while this side doesn't quite look as impressive as, of course, the other side that has this beautiful garage area, there's a reason for that. So this gate is your main gate. Of course, you can open it here by pressing that, or you can use your car remote to open the gate. Now you can also lock the gate and set up a code. And of course, you'll see there's a couple of exterior areas. First things first, over here we have a laydown area. Every construction site, every oil field I've been to has a laydown area. Pretty much that means a place where you put down kind of equipment before it's used or after it's used. So in this case, you actually have a couple of spare rods you can use. And then over here, there's kind of like some old rusted out separators and connectors and things. This is just a nice old structural beam over here and another column that you could not use but just look at. They're decorative. That's over here. If we go around this side, you'll come across this trailer, which you can open up. This is the back way, but it has a ton of equipment, and you can open in here, and there's actually a bed and some office space. So before you have your rig in place, this is just a nice little space where you can actually utilize the accommodations while the base is under construction, or while the oil rig is under construction. Over here, we got a diesel tank reservoir, and of course you could power up and down and you could pump the gas. So that is attached here to this tank. Over here we have the little structure where it's like a maintenance shed with a bunch of equipment, which now I see you actually can't reach because the workbench is in the way. But if you click on the workbench, you can actually spawn in the ALTA rig from this little building. And yeah, it does say there's already something in the area that's just unfortunately there, but that looks much, much better. So take a look at that. Now that's the full facility with the gate, with the spawning building, and with the actual oil drill. So that can be spawned from in here. Over here we have this little light system and this sensor. So if you drive a car into this sensor, this gate will open up, allowing you to leave. So there it turns green, you can drive out, and then after a set amount of time, it will actually close by itself. So this gate cannot be opened with your car remote. This one has to be opened by activating it with this sensor. Over here we got like a vehicle parts kind of area. We got some spare type of machines. We got a motor here. And over here is the generator and the main battery. Of course, this also has a small diesel tank for the generator. You can also plug in things to there. And the last small building before we get to the main one is a medical trailer. So quite simply, in here you have sort of 3 medical bays where if someone gets injured while they work, this is where you bring them. So that is the last of the small buildings. And then over here, and I'm just going to close these because you actually want to operate them from this building. Now this is the main gate operations building. As you walk in here, you see there's a nice little waiting area for the truckers while they fill their trucks up with the diesel or oil. And over here you have a counter where you can actually list the 25 creations that can be spawned from this building. So this is all thanks to Sheppy 5. This is a huge list of vehicles, and we're just going to go ahead and quickly type in one of them. Let's spawn up the supervisor's work truck. Just a nice simple one. And if we press checkout and if we look in here, there's our truck. You can of course return the vehicle as well, and it gets despawned from that area. So there's 25 nice little vehicles for you to choose from, and of course drive around and complete or transport the oil. Now in here we got our emergency power shutoff and this alarm, and up here is the main gate control center. So the reason why I say that is because you get a CCTV system. You actually can see in your garage. You can see the front of the gate. Of course, we're in that building. You can see the back, so that's the exit. You could see the entry point. You could see the exit point, and you can kind of see a panning camera of the generator and area. So this gives you a good idea of the security system. Of course, there is an SMG in case we do get under attack, because you never know what kind of forces are out there that want to interrupt the production. Over here you have a thermostat. Of course, you probably don't need to turn up the heat. It's already 30 degrees. You get a bunch of radios. And on this console here, you can actually lock the gates. You can lock the buildings. And you can activate a perimeter alarm. So there's actually detection modules around the gate that will tell you if there's a trespasser or an intruder. And here is where you can set the gate code. So if you put 5 here, that's all you do. You just set the gate code here. And then if you go down here, say you want to leave the facility but lock it up, you press this and now it's locked. And now you cannot open it up until you push the code that you've set, and that deactivates it. So then you can actually open it up. So that is the simple way, but of course you'd have to then go into here and clear your clear the code, because of course if there's a code, that automatically is going to get activated once you're out there. So once you press this button. Anyway, that is how to use that system, and that is pretty much this building here. You do have roof access, but there's nothing kind of functional on the roof. Just kind of access to the skylights. And you do have this catwalk area here in the garage. You can also walk in here. And there is these spotlights and lights. So if you are doing any type of repairs, these lights come in handy. We do have a large array of welding torches. We have some batteries. We even have a battery charger over here. On this side, you have a lift that is functional. And it also locks into position. So once you bring it close to here, you could lock the lift. And then it actually doesn't fall anymore. You have another set of welding torches. And you actually have a generator here with a mounted welder. So that's quite useful. And of course, I love how these garage doors open. Depending on the vehicle here, it may hit the vehicle. So you want to be quite careful. And of course, it is at your own risk how high you bring your truck up. Like if you are servicing something, you may have to crawl under it. It may be too high to lift the truck up this height. But this is the nice thing about the ALTAgate, is it just gives you a wide array of vehicles that you can spawn up and use, whether it's for transporting the oil, or whether it's for just servicing and maintaining the oil rig itself. Now, some of the vehicles, like this small one, does not have the automatic gate opener. So in this case, you actually have to manually set yourself to open. You have to get out of the truck and open the gate. But if we go here and select number 1, for example, our service truck, this one has the button on the roof, open nearby ALTAgate. And of course, if you know, various ALTA creations come with this gate, including this one. So if you press that, that will open up and you can drive out that way as well. So that is the gist of this creation. And possibly one thing I missed, the last most important thing of this upper control center, other than the cameras, is the ability to open the gate. And you can even open the exit gate from here. So if you do have the ability to run the show from here. And then, of course, because it's a 24-hour operation, you have all your compound lights that you could turn on from here. So the compound lights turn on the lights within the compound itself. So now you can see that there's a couple of kind of these small lights on. Then, of course, you have the perimeter lights, which now activates the lights on the exterior wall. You have compound floodlights, which now, as long as you have a decent computer, this will illuminate most of the areas within the compound walls. And of course, if you have an extremely good computer, you could run the perimeter floodlights, and that's going to get you that, where everything is now lit up all around you. You have the most control of what is coming in terms of wanted or unwanted guests, and you have a good idea of the security status. So that is the last of the what this sort of creation has to offer. It's really intended to give you more or less the ability to, well, first of all, close off your rig, but then also support it with the creation, with the spawning of different vehicles. Like, the most useful one I could probably think of is the tanker. You have a tanker pickup, number 11. You have a pipe transport truck. You have a water transport truck. So the various vehicles will allow you to facilitate your creation. So, and at your oil drill or oil rig, my goodness. So it'll allow you to do that. Of course, he kind of gets close, but it should work for the most part. And that is really it. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, for more creations, and as always, happy Stormworksing, everyone. It's always awesome to see everybody watching the videos, commenting, the Discord server, people talking. It's really encouraging and motivating for me when there's that much positive feedback coming from you. So I really do appreciate it very much, and see you next time.